four friends are going on a camping trip. They need to bring the right supplies because they're backpacking. The group needs to plan and plan well, so coordination is key. They're all computer users, so they start planning with an email. It starts with one, but then becomes a barrage. Email is not good at coordinating and organizing a group's input. This is the old way. Boo! The important information is scattered across everyone's inbox. This isn't coordination. Let's start over. There is a better way. It requires you using a website called a wiki. Using a wiki, the group can coordinate their trip better. This is the new way. Yay! Most wikis work the same. They make it easy for everyone to change what appears on a web page with the click of a button. It's as easy as erasing a word and rewriting it. The buttons are really important. There are two that are essential. They are edit and save, and they are always used together. Let's see them in action. Here are our camping friends, and this is a wiki website. Like all wikis, it has an edit button. Clicking this button transforms the web page into a document. All you have to do is click it, and the web page becomes a document ready for editing. Editing the page means you can add or remove words or change how they look, just like writing a letter. Once you're finished editing, you click Save, and the document becomes a web page once again and is ready for the next person to edit it. Easy. Edit, write, and save. Using this process, a group can coordinate more easily. Let's apply this to our camping friends who need to bring the right supplies. Mary signs up for a wiki site and then sees the new site for the first time. She clicks the edit button to get started. She creates two lists for camping, what we have and what we need. Under We Have, she lists the things she will bring, a cooler, stove, and flashlight. Under We Need, she lists items that others need to bring, compass, lighter, water, and food. She finishes the process by clicking Save, and the website now has lists for the camping trip. Now it's John's turn. John visits the wiki website, clicks Edit, and the page becomes a document ready for him to make changes. John volunteers to bring food and water, so he moves those to the Have column. He also realizes the group will need a knife and rope. Once he's finished, he clicks Save, and the wiki is ready for the next person. Henry visits the wiki, clicks Edit, and he can edit the page. He remembers they need a tent. Henry saves the page, and the wiki is ready for Frank. Frank edits the page and agrees to bring the remaining items, completing the process. Frank saves the page and realizes something awesome. The group has created the perfect camping list without email. Yay! But wait, one thing is missing. They need a location for the campsite. The wiki can help with this too, but another page is needed. John visits the wiki and clicks Edit to edit the page. He types in the word locations and highlights it. He then clicks the link button. This changes the word locations into a link to a new page. John clicks Save, and next, Frank visits the wiki and sees the list and the link to the new page. He clicks on the locations link and arrives at the new page. This new page enables the group to use the same edit, write, save process to coordinate locations. This process can be repeated over and over. These three buttons, edit, save, and link, make it possible to organize a great camping trip or create the world's biggest encyclopedia. You can sign up for your own wiki at these websites: PBWiki, WetPaint, or Wikispaces. I'm Lee Lefevre, and this has been Wikis in Plain English on the Common Craft Show.
All right, well, obviously, we're talking about wikis today in this segment of Digital Discoveries. Hi, welcome back. Wiki, obviously, is a place where you can work collaboratively. And so today's segment, we're talking to teachers and students about working collaboratively on a wiki in Project Share. Project Share has the ability to create a wiki just like Wikipedia, probably the most famous wiki of all. So what makes wikis better than just having a blog or just your own web page? Well, as that video explained, it's a collaborative effort. Everybody can go in and start working and sharing, and it saves every single one of the revisions. So if somebody goes in and accidentally deletes everything that you've written so far, that's okay, because wikis can be brought up from previous editing. So let's go ahead and look at our website wikis in Project Share. Again, we're going to pretend that you already learned how to log into Project Share. Now, the first thing you need to do in Project Share, is you have to have created a group. Now the group can be for teachers, the group can be for other students, the group can be on any kind of collaborative project that you're working on. For instance, in EPISD, we use professional learning community. So you can actually create a group for professional, your PLCs like we talked about before, but you can only access a wiki in Project Share if you have a group, and that makes sense because you don't want to have a wiki of just one person. So you have to have a group first before you can create a wiki. So when you've created a group, you'll notice on the left-hand side you're going to have all these different things that we talked about before, blogs and forums and things like that. But one of the ones that you can do right there is wikis. And it's really easy to create a wiki in Project Share once you just, it's pretty darn obvious actually. To create a wiki, you just say create a wiki. And so you have to give your wiki a title. So I'm going to call this a test wiki, just for grins. They want you to give it some description. And this is an example wiki. Now notice that once you log in and once you put in your title and your description, then all of a sudden your editing area is much larger. This becomes your editing area right here, and that should be very similar to what you're used to seeing in Microsoft Word, for instance. So you'll notice that there's a whole bunch of icons for editing your wiki, printing and searching and spell check and things like that. But you should also notice that you can link to other things in there. You can put in files in your wiki. You can put in hyperlinks to websites. So say for instance, I'm just for grins, I want to put Apple computers. And I want to make a link to that. I just type Apple computers. I click that link. It'll come up. It'll ask me, what's the URL for that? In other words, where is it? And I type in, well, it's http://apple.com. That's just an example. It could be anything, of course. And now, all of a sudden, you've noticed that I've changed from black to blue. Now I've got an actual hyperlink in there. And you can do that with anything in there. You can put in pictures. You can even put in mathematical equations. You can put in what's called a math flow. So if you're a math teacher and you're interested in putting in some kind of math problem, you can actually do that by inserting a math flow. You can highlight, you can insert charts. All of these things are pretty darn obvious. So let's go back. I hope they're obvious at least. Let's go back, and then of course every single time that you're done, you either have to say create the wiki or you have to say save. So in my case, I'm going to say create the wiki. So I click and it saves, and now I've got a wiki somewhere. Let's go back and look at a wiki that's been done before. So actually you can see all of a sudden that when I go back to all my group wikis, there's my test wiki that I just created. It tells me who created it. I'm the owner of that particular wiki. It tells me when it was created, the time it was created, and then I can go back in and it says ready for editing. That means people can go back and edit that back. And what's cool about this is that anybody in the group can edit that wiki. Anybody that's part of this group can come back and edit this wiki. So look at this wiki, for instance, that's been created called iPads and Education Resources. This is a wiki that is all about iPads. And so there's a whole bunch of people have added to this, and you can see there's lots and lots of information in there. That's a really cool example of a wiki. And then as people find more stuff about iPads, they can add to that. I can go back. There's another one in this particular group. Now, the wiki has to do something with the group. So what are some examples of wikis that you can use? Well, in this group here, this group is for administrators like myself that are using, that are in charge of education technology. So the things in the wiki have to do with that. If you're a teacher, you want to create a wiki for students that are collaborative, they're doing collaborative works, they're doing that kind of things. Wikis allow students to work on projects collaboratively. So that's a really fast introduction to wikis in Project Share. So the question is, we're going to leave you with this question: what projects can you assign your students that they could use a wiki for? And then I'm going to extend that just a little bit. Students, what projects can you do collaboratively using a wiki? Thanks for joining me for this segment of Digital Discoveries. We'll see you next time.